Today, the gospel speaks of four fishermen working in a boat, cleaning their fish and everything, and Jesus called to them and said, "Follow me." Those four men were Simon, who later on became to be known as Peter, then Andrew, James, and John. Peter is the most famous. We all know who he is. But the other three, we really don't know their life story, and I don't either. So I took the time to do a little bit of research, and I'd like to take the opportunity to share that with you. First, I'd like to talk to you about Andrew. In today's gospel, it mentions that Andrew had a brother who was Peter. So Peter and Andrew's father was named John, and John was also a fisherman. So Peter and Andrew worked as fishermen before they followed Jesus. Andrew went on to become an apostle. And in other Gospels, they mention that he's the one who told Jesus, as a boy, only had a loaf of bread and a few fish. And the story goes that there were 5,000 people that needed to be fed. And so Jesus went ahead and used the loaves of bread and the fish and fed 5,000 people and satisfied all their hunger. Andrew is the patron saint for the country of Scotland. And if you look at the Scottish flag, you'll notice that it is blue with a large white X across it. And you may wonder what that X is for. St. Andrew was crucified. However, he wasn't crucified on a cross like Jesus was. He was crucified on an X. So Scotland uses that symbol to honor St. Andrew on their flag. His body is buried, from what we know now, in Greece. Now I'd like to focus on James. Today's gospel mentions that James had another brother who was John. So James and John also became apostles. James is the one who also witnessed Jesus' transfiguration with the other two apostles. James is the only one that the Bible mentions who died as a martyr. And also, because of that, people believe that he was the first of all the apostles to die as a martyr. His body is buried in Spain. And at the site of his burial, a huge church was built on top of it. And to this day, many people flock to that church. And now I'd like to focus on John. John was one of the 12 apostles, of course, but he was the one that we believe wrote the scriptures of John. And tradition says that he was the youngest out of all of the apostles. All the other apostles died as martyrs except for John. He died of natural causes. And the Bible mentions that he stood there and watched as Jesus was crucified with Mary. And from the cross, Jesus asked him to watch out for Mary. And from then on, he did. John died in Turkey. And that city is still there, the city of Ephesus, and that is where he is buried. So today, when we're looking at all four of these, plus Peter, what have we learned? Well, we've learned that Peter, yes, was quite famous, and the other three were not quite as famous as him. Yet all four of them worked to spread the Christian faith, and it was so important. And that, yes, we in the world look to our famous leaders like Pope Francis, Mother Teresa, and others. And while they do incredible work, God still expects each one of us to do that. Whether our work is recognized, He expects us to spread our faith. So thank you, and God bless you.